Are you confused by wheelchair racing glove types? Let me help you with that.
Hi there, my name is Errol Jones and I am with Wheels of Fire Wheelchair Racing. So today we wanted to talk to you guys about gloves. Wheelchair racers use gloves to be able to push the racing wheelchair instead of grabbing onto the hand rim. There's actually a lot of different types of gloves out there, and whenever you first start looking at it, it can be confusing to figure out what are the advantages and disadvantages of each type of glove, why you might want a specific type of glove, and what would be the best for you. So today we want to talk about and compare some different types of gloves so that you can make the best decision for you.
So the first gloves that we want to talk about today are soft gloves. So soft gloves are called soft gloves because of the way that they can squish and move. These are Harness brand gloves. There are other brands that are out there, but Harness is the most well-known and the most popular brand. These gloves are really good for beginners. One reason is because there's a lot of protection for your hands. So when I put this on here, then you can see, it's got a lot to protect my hand so that if I slip or something, I'm not going to hurt my hand. The other reason is because it's got this big flat surface right here, and whenever you're starting out, your push is going to be all over the place. You just are not going to be as fine-tuned and accurate, and so having this whole flat surface here gives you a bigger target to be able to hit, which is great for beginners. These are also really good for anyone that's got some issues with their hands. So quads, this is great because it's got a good wrist support here, and again, got that big flat surface, so it creates a bigger target for you to be able to hit. One of the things with Harness gloves is that you can just buy them off the shelf. You can go to their store, you find your measurements, and you buy them. So they are not really customizable, but they're great if you just want to have a set of gloves that you can just start and just get started with. The next pair of gloves that we want to talk about are Aquaplast gloves. So Harness gloves are the ones that you can just buy out of the box. You order the size that you want, and then that's what you've got. Aquaplast is on the complete opposite side of that spectrum. So it is completely customizable. So whenever you buy a kit like this one, then it will include pellets, and it will include a sheet of Aquaplast as well as rubber. So what you do then is that you heat up this Aquaplast and melt it, and then you can mold it to how you want. Now, there are plenty of videos on the internet showing how to be able to do that. One thing to keep in mind if you do play with Aquaplast at all is you don't actually have to get it as hot as you think to be able to get it to melt. So that's just one of those things that you can play with to figure out what works well for you if you choose to go the route of using Aquaplast. One of the things with Aquaplast that makes it very difficult, though, is that once you get one hand exactly how you want it, it's very difficult to replicate that for the other hand. So if you notice, I don't have a pair of Aquaplast gloves here, I just have the kits, because I couldn't do it. There are plenty of athletes that do, and there are plenty of athletes that still use Aquaplast gloves. It's still very popular. It's actually the same material that they use to be able to make leg braces. Our last set that I want to talk about are 3D printed. So this is a new and up-and-coming technology within the wheelchair racing world. It is cutting-edge technology. A lot of people have moved to 3D printing because it is that space in between the Harness and the Aquaplast gloves, in between just buy it out of the box to totally customized. So you can do a bit of both within the 3D printing world. So these sets, this set was bought from Revolution Sports here, and this set was bought from Ingenium. And so one of the things that you can see the difference here is that this one has some Aquaplast added to it. That's one of those places of customization that you can find in between the Harness and the Aquaplast. The other thing is that you can design and print your own gloves with the 3D printing, or you can buy a size that you want. One of the great things with 3D printing is that if you get a glove that works really well for one hand, you can easily flip it and reproduce it for a glove that works on the other hand. And if these ever break, you can just reprint them exactly how you had them before. So it's one of the advantages to 3D printing. Now, if you'll notice, there's a big difference here between the Revolution Sport gloves and the Ingenium gloves. And this is a difference not in what material the glove is, but as to how you push the glove. So the Ingenium gloves here are flat gloves. So it's a flat surface that you're pushing on. And that is the same for the harness gloves here. And for the Revolution Sport gloves, it is a grooved glove. So what you're wanting to do is catch the rim in the groove. Now, that is a difference in the style in which you want to push. That's a difference in a little bit of the mechanics of how you push. But those are an option. The grooved glove are an option with the 3D printed or with the Aquaplast gloves. Okay, so now we have talked about the different types of gloves. So we talked about the harness gloves, which are the soft gloves, and they're the ones that you can just buy out of the box. We talked about the Aquaplast gloves, which are totally customizable and can be molded to how you want it. And then we talked about the 3D printed gloves, which are somewhere in the middle. One thing to keep in mind is if you are switching gloves, it's okay to slow down to get fast. When you're changing types of gloves, it can be difficult because it's something you're not used to. You're more likely to be able to slip and potentially injure yourself. So slow down before you get faster. Hopefully this video has helped you to be able to make a choice, to be able to know some of the advantages and disadvantages to different types of gloves. We really want to be able to put more of this content out there for wheelchair racers. So please subscribe, please like the video. And this is Errol Jones for Wheels of Fire. Keep them rolling.